Welcome to my lecture on Markov chain. So in this lecture we shall study what is a Markov chain, how the Markov chain is developed, and what is a Markov process, and some examples. Now let us start. Now see, this is Professor A.M. Markov. The Markov chain was developed by him. So what he has done, he studied the sequence of the consonants and the vowels in a famous book of which is originally written in Russian language and translated into English. That initially it was translated by Alexander Pushkin, and the translation was on the novel Eugene Onegin. And this novel, it consists of around 400 stanzas. And Markov, what he did, he studied the way the vowels and consonants followed each other in that novel, and he find the probability that a vowel being followed by another vowel, and the vowel followed by a consonant, and the probability that consonant followed by a vowel. So like this, so many types. And he have developed a process that is known as the Markov process in 1906, or Markov chain. Now here, subsequently the Markov chain has so many applications that in physics, in chemistry, when the probabilities are used for unknown quantities. It is also used in information processing, speech analysis, in lie detection test. So subsequently it has enormous use, and recently it is used in online marketing also for the purpose of customer segmentation. So now what is a stochastic process? As we know, it is a family of random variables which are functions of time, and we consider a stochastic process here, that xn, n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. This stochastic process is called as a Markov chain if there are only a finite or countably infinite number of states in which the process can be at any point of time. That means the random variable xn has finite or countable number of values, and the process is at one of the value at some time. So let the consider a sequence of trial which results the occurrence or non-occurrence of an event Ej, which are supposed to be exhaustive and mutually exclusive. So xn, that the random variable xn, suppose xn equal to j, if Ej is the outcome of the nth trial. Now the trials are to be independent. So then if the trials are independent, we can say probability xn equal to j given x0 equal to I0 up to xn minus 1 equal to in minus 1. That means the system or the process is in state j at time n, given that it was in the state I0 at time 0, I1 at time 1, and in minus 1 at n minus 1. And since the process is independent, the system at time n is independent of the state at time previous times, that means at times 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. So the conditional probability of xn equal to j given x0 equal to I0, x1 equal to I1 up to so on xn minus 1 equal to in minus 1, this is equal to probability xn equal to j for all n and all values of x0, x1, x2, xn, these random variables. So here we have a set of independent trials. Now suppose S is the state space 1, 2, 3, 4. That means the process is at 1 or 2 or 3 like this. Now we denote the probability that xn plus 1 equal to j given xn equal to I, that is equal to Pij. So Pij, it is the conditional probability that the system at time n was at the state I, and in the next time, that is at time n plus 1, it goes to the state j. So Pij, it is the conditional probability that the system goes from state I at time n to the state j at time n plus 1. So we write, so S is the state space. Suppose S equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n, that we have assumed here the state space S is finite. Then the transition probability, these Pij can be written in the form of a matrix that is known as the transition probability matrix. So the elements Pij, Ij varies from 1 to n, and since here is an important property of this transition probability matrix, the row sum is equal to 1. That means the elements in each row, the total of the elements is equal to 1, and since these are the probabilities, all the elements are non-negative. So P is known as the transition probability matrix. So any matrix can be a transition probability matrix if it satisfies these two conditions: is the elements are positive and the row sum is equal to 1. So if in addition to the row sum, if the column sum is also equal to 1, so this is known as a double stochastic matrix or double transition probability matrix. But in a transition probability matrix, we have two conditions. One, the elements are all positive, that means greater than equal to 0, so non-negative, and the second, the row sum is equal to 1. Now the transition probability matrix, consider an example. Suppose xn is the random variable, denote that the nth day in a year is a dry day or a rainy day. Any day on a year can be classified as a dry day or a rainy day, and we denote xn equal to 1 if the nth day is a dry day and xn equal to 0 if nth day is a rainy day. So xn has two values here, 1 and 0. Now the state space S, that is equal to 0 and 1, the possible values of xn. Now define the transition probability matrix P. This is equal to, suppose we write P equal to 1 by 3, 2 by 3 and 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So 0, 1 are the states. Now here if we see the first element, that is 1 by 3, this is P0, 0. So this is the probability, conditional probability, that at time n the system is in state 0 and in the next time xn plus 1 it is also 0. So that is P00 equal to 1 by 3. So here xn equal to 0, that means nth day is a dry day, and xn plus 1 equal to 0, that means n plus 1th day is a dry day. So probability xn plus 1 equal to 0 given xn equal to 0, that means the probability that nth day was a dry day and the next day will be also a dry day. Its probability is P00, that is 1 by 3. Similarly, probability xn plus 1 equal to 1 given xn equal to 0. So it is the probability that the nth day is a dry day, but the next day will be a rainy day. So its probability is 2 by 3. So similarly, probability xn plus 1 equal to 0 given xn equal to 1. So that is equal to 1 by 2. So that means this is the conditional probability that the nth day is a dry day, but n plus 1th day will be a rainy day. So similarly, the nth day is a dry day and the next day n plus 1th day will also be a dry day. Its probability is also 1 by 2. So that is P11 this. So always we denote this, write the states. It is better to write the states here in order to better understand the transition probability matrix. So now any day in a year can either be a dry day or a rainy day. So suppose we start from any particular day. Suppose we start the study from 1st June of any year late in 2020. Now the 1st June will be either a dry day or a rainy day. So accordingly, that is this since the first one. So probability x1 equal to 1, that is 0.45, x1 equal to 0, 0.55 this. That means suppose 1st June, the chance of having a dry day is 45% and chance of having it is a rainy day is 55%. So this is known as the initial distribution of the x1, first of that sequence, first random variable. That means first time n starts from 1, so distribution of x1. Sometimes if the sequence of random variable starts from 0, x0, x1, x2, so similarly the distribution of 0, x0 is called as the initial distribution. So that is the how the random variable x0 takes different values with different probabilities. So that is the initial distribution. So we define a Markov chain as a sequence of random variables x0, x1, x2, xn up to so on is said to be a Markov chain with initial distribution mu and the transition probability matrix P. If for the given states I0, I1, In, n greater than equal to 0, we have this joint distribution x0 equal to I0, x1 equal to I1, x2 equal to I2, xn equal to In. So this is the joint distribution of x0, x1, x2, xn. So that is equal to probability x0 equal to I0 into probability x1 equal to I1 given x0 equal to I0. That means system starts from the state I0, that is probability x0 equal to I0. In the next state, that means at time 1, x1, the system goes from I0 to I1. So this is the conditional probability x1 equal to I1 given x0 equal to I0. Now, after x1, it is x2. So probability x2 equal to I2 given that I time 0 it was in I0 and I time 1 it was in I1. So this is the conditional probability x2 equal to I2 given x1 equal to I1, x0 equal to I0. And up to so on, we can write at the last term probability xn equal to In given xn minus 1 equal to In minus 1 and xn minus 2 equal to In minus 2 and up to so on x0 equal to I0. That these are the states at previous n minus 1 times. So now this is probability x0 equal to I0. This is the initial distribution into this conditional probability x1 equal to I1 given x0 equal to I0 into the second, the probability x2 equal to I2 given x1 equal to I1, x0 equal to I0. So this probability will become probability x2 equal to I2 given x1 equal to I1. So it is independent of x0. Similarly, this will continue, and the last term probability xn equal to In given xn minus 1 equal to In minus 1 up to so on. This will only the conditional probability xn equal to In given xn minus 1 equal to In minus 1. So this conditional probability xn equal to In given xn minus 1 equal to In minus 1, xn minus 2 equal to In minus 2. Similarly, up to x1 equal to I1, x0 equal to I0, this conditional probability is equal to the conditional only the term probability xn equal to In given xn minus 1 equal to In minus 1. So this conditional probability, we are not considering the states x0, x1 up to xn minus 2. So here this is the conditional probability that the process is in state In at time n, given that it was in the state In minus 1 at time n minus 1, and this is independent of the states in which the process was at previous times. That means at times n minus 2, n minus 3 up to the initial 0. So this is equal to this probability x0 equal to I0. This is the initial distribution. So this is P I0, and probability x1 equal to I1 given x0 equal to I0. That means the system goes from I0 to I1. So this is P I0 I1, and probability x2 equal to I2 given x1 equal to I1. This is P I1 I2. So like this, the last one, this will be P In minus 1 and In. So that means if this condition probability x0 equal to I0, x1 equal to I1, this is the joint distribution of x0, x2 up to xn, that is equal to these probabilities. So here one important characteristic of the Markov chain is in terms of these conditional probabilities. So conditional probability of the future state given the current, it is independent of the previous. So many practical examples can be considered basing upon this, and this Markov chain, it has the most important property due to this conditional probability, that is the memoryless property. So this conditional probability that xn equal to In given xn minus 1 equal to In minus 1 up to so on up to x0 equal to I0, this conditional probability is equal to the conditional probability xn equal to In given xn minus 1 equal to In minus 1. This is independent of the states at x0, x1 up to xn minus 2. So because of this special nature of the Markov of the stochastic process, this property is known as the Markov property, or the memoryless property of the Markov. Now here consider an example of tossing a coin tossing scheme. Suppose a coin is repeatedly tossed and we denote the random variable xn as the outcome of the nth toss of the coin. So we denote xn equal to 1 if head turns up in ith toss and xn equal to 0 otherwise. So we denote the probability xn equal to 1, that is equal to p, and probability xn equal to 0 equal to q. That means probability of a head is p and probability of getting a tail at a nth toss is q. So that p plus q equal to 1 and p q lies between 0 to 1. Now we define Sn. It is outcome of it is the number of heads in n tosses. So Sn equal to, I equal to 1 to n xn. So now we have to find what are the values of Sn. So xn equal to either 1 or 0. So 1 if head turns up and 0 if tail turns up. So Sn gives the number of heads in n tosses. So if n tosses, that means if the coin is tossed n times, the number of we may not get any head, or we may get only one head or two heads or at most n heads. For example, in particular, suppose n equal to 10. If we toss the coin 10 times, the number of heads may be 0 if we do not get any head, maybe only one head, two heads or three heads, or all the 10 are heads. So the number of heads in n tosses in 10 tosses will be either 0, 1, 2, 3 up to maximum 10. Similarly, Sn equal to I equal to 1 to n xn, so such that its probability possible values of xn are 0, 1, 2 up to n. Now Sn plus 1 equal to, we can write Sn plus xn minus 1, because Sn equal to summation I equal to 1 to n xn. So Sn plus 1 will be summation I equal to 1 to n plus 1 and xn. So that is equal to Sn plus xn plus 1. So suppose we up to n plus 1th toss we get j heads. So xn equal to j. Sorry, Sn equal to j. That means first n trials we have obtained j heads. So in n trials we got j heads. So there are j ones and n minus j zeros. So summation xn will be j. So Sn will be equal to j, suppose. And so when we make n plus 1th toss, that means we are going to toss the coin once more. Then if suppose n plus 1th toss, again a head will come, then the number of heads in n plus 1th 1 tosses will be j plus 1. If n plus 1th toss is a tail, then the number of heads remains same. There will be no change to the number of heads. That is, suppose nth toss, up to nth toss we have got j heads, then up to n plus 1th toss we have same j heads, because n plus 1th toss is a tail. So if we count the number of heads, then Sn will have two values, either j or j plus 1, depending upon the outcome of n plus 1th toss, because we have obtained j heads up to n tosses. So take example, suppose n equal to 10. Suppose we have got 4 heads till 10 tosses, first 10 tosses. Now if 11th toss we are again getting a head, then the number of heads up to 11th toss will be increased by 1. It will be 5. If we get 4 tosses up to 10th and 11th 4 heads up to 10th, and again 11th toss is again a tail, then the number of heads in first 11 tosses will be same 4. So the outcome of 11th toss, if it is a head, total number of heads up to 11th toss increases by 1, or otherwise it remains the same. Similarly, if Sn equal to j, that means up to nth toss we have got j heads. So then if n plus 1th toss we again get a head, then up to Sn plus 1 will be j plus 1. If n plus 1th toss results a tail, then Sn plus 1 equal to j itself. So probability Sn plus 1 equal to j given Sn equal to j. So this is same as the probability of getting a tail at n plus 1th toss. because the number of heads remains same here between n and n plus 1th toss, it is j. So n plus 1th toss is a tail. So probability Sn plus 1 equal to j given Sn equal to j, that is same as the probability of getting a tail at n plus 1th toss. So this will be equal to q. And if n plus 1th toss is a head, then number of head will increase by 1. So probability Sn plus 1 will be equal to j plus 1, given that Sn equal to j. That means up to nth toss we have j heads, and n plus 1th toss we got a head. So the number of heads till n plus 1th toss we get j plus 1, and probability of getting a head at n plus 1th toss, its probability is p. So probability of Sn plus 1 equal to j plus 1 given Sn equal to j, this probability is equal to p. So here the distribution, this probability of Sn plus 1 equal to j plus 1 given Sn equal to j, or probability Sn plus 1 equal to j given Sn equal to j, they are p and q. So they does not depend upon the distribution of S0, S1, S1, S2 up to Sn minus 1. It only depends upon the number of heads up to nth trial. It does not depend upon what was the number of heads up to n minus 1th trial, what was the number of heads up to n minus 2th trial. We do not require that information. So here the conditional probability only depends upon the how much heads we have obtained till nth toss, and it does not depend upon how we got j. So this is an example of a Markov chain. So now consider the particular case in weather forecasting. So in weather forecasting we use a more generalized method, but here I am considering only limited to two states that I have discussed. So we consider that problem on weather. So xn equal to, suppose 0, it is the nth day is a dry day, 1 if it is a rainy day. So this is the probability. So xn equal to 0 and xn plus 1, probability xn equal to 0, xn plus 1 equal to 0, given that xn equal to 0, this is 1 by 3. So p0, 0, this is 1 by 3. That the nth day was a dry day, and the next n plus 1th day will also be a dry day. So this is p01. So the system goes from 0 to 1, state 0 to state 1. That means nth day was a dry day, and n plus 1th day is a rainy day. So like this. So this is here we find the probability px2 equal to 1. That means the second day its probability equal to 1. So xn is a random variable showing the weather on the nth day starting from the 1st August 2020, suppose. So probability x2 equal to 1. So this is equal to probability x2 equal to 1 given x1 equal to 0 into probability x1 equal to 0. This is the conditional probability. X2 equal to 1. When x2 equal to 1, then the value of x1 may be either 0 or 1. So here we find probability x2 equal to 1 given x1 equal to 0 into probability x1 equal to 0 plus probability x2 equal to 1 given x1 equal to 1 into probability x1 equal to 1. This is by using the theorem of total probability. So probability x2 equal to 1. So x1 can be either 0 or 1. So using this, so here the system goes from state 0 to state 1, P01. P01 equal to 2 by 3. So I use, this is 2 by 3 into probability x1 equal to 0, that in the previous example we have considered probability x1 equal to 0, that is 0.55. So plus probability x2 equal to 1 given x1 equal to 1 into probability x1 equal to 1. So probability x2 equal to 1 given x1 equal to 1. So this is P11. So this is 1 by 2, and this probability x1 equal to 1, this probability is 0.45. So this is equal to 2 by 3 into 0.45 into 1 by 2. This is approximately 0.59. So if 1st August is a dry day, so that is the x1, and what is the probability that August 3 will also be a dry day? That means this is if at 2 steps x to the second day. Similarly, you can find x3. So probability x2 equal to 1. So if x1, the xn is the random variable showing the weather on the nth day starting from the 1st August. So similarly on the 2nd August it will be x2. On the 3rd August it will be x3. So here in this case we can find probability of x3 equal to, for the dry day, August will be a dry day. For a dry day we have considered, if it is a dry day, we have considered the value xn equal to 1. So if it is a dry day, we have considered xn equal to 1. So here we can find what is the probability of x3 equal to 1. Now you can try it. Now here take another example. We have taken the state space S equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means state space S has 5 states. So the transition probability matrix is this is given. So row sum is equal to 1. So here in the first row total is 1. Second row the total is 1, q plus p equal to 1. The third row q plus p equal to 1. Fourth row q plus p equal to 1. And this is fifth row, this is also 1, pq greater than equal to 0. Now if we analyze this, see the system at time n is at 0, and at the next time n plus 1 it goes to again 0. Its probability is 1. So state 0 to state 0, its probability is 1 here. So we make the graph state 0 to state 0, this probability is 1. And again here you can see state 0, from the state 0 the system cannot go to state 1, 2, 3, 4. So because all the elements are 0. Now from the state 1, the system can go to the state 0 with probability q, and from the state 1 system can go to the state 2 with probability p. So here 1 to 2 with probability p and 1 to 0 with probability p. Similarly consider this second state, that means third row. So 2 to 1, this is q. So state 2 to state 1, so this is q, and state 2 to, this is state 3 with p, 2 to 3 p. And from state 2 the system can go only to state 1 and state 3 because all the other entries here are 0. Similarly in state 3, here the system can go to the state 2 and can go to state 4. So 3 to 2 with probability q, 3 to 2 with probability q, and 3 to 4 with probability p. Then the last row, if the system can go from the state 4 to only 4, so its probability is 1. So from the state 4 it cannot reach the states 0, 1, 2, 3 because all the entries here are 0. Now here we have made a graph, and this graph is prepared basing upon these elements of these transition probabilities. So this is called as a transition graph. So while analyzing the system, the transition graph becomes helpful in analyzing the different states of the system, because see, once the system is in state 0, it cannot go outside this 0. So this is one class. So similarly, if the system is in either 1, 2 or 3, it can move in between. It can move from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and again it can come back 3 to 2, 2 to 1. So it will move between 1, 2, 3. So this is the second. So once it reaches state 4, it is not possible to come back again. So this is another class. So using this, so see, using this transition graph, we can able to analyze what are the nature of the states. Here 0, once the system reaches 0, it cannot come back from that. So here also, once the system reaches state 4, it cannot come back. So state 0 and state 4 are called as the observing states. So that we will discuss about how the nature of these states can be analyzed. So now see, here from that transition graph, the particle remains at position 0 and 4, whose probabilities are 1. That I have already discussed these points. Now here another particular example, consider the queuing model, how we can analyze queuing model using this Markov chain. So consider a doctor's chamber where the patients arrive for treatment. The doctor is inside and the number of patients are limited to, suppose, 30. So once the number of patients reaches 30, any patient that he will come, he has to go back. The doctor will not check, suppose. That means the queue length is limited. And there is only one doctor. Suppose patients arrive at time 0, at time 1, at time 2, like this. So these are the time epochs at which the doctor serves the patients at the time epochs 0, 1, 2, up to so on. And yn denote the number of patients arrive in the time interval n to n plus 1. So n equal to 0, 1, 2, up to so on. So suppose yn, the number of patients arrive in different time intervals of length 1. So with that, the number of patients is a random variable here. And with this probability yn equal to k, so that is equal to pk. K equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. So that means probability yn equal to 0, that is equal to p0. No patient will arrive in time n to n plus 1. One patient will come, its probability k equal to 1, probability yn equal to 1 equal to p1. So like this. So now the waiting room, since the doctor has limited the number of patients that he will check, suppose he limited the waiting hall to m patients only. So any patient that will arrive after m patients has been filled, he has to return. So here xn is the number of patients, including one being near the doctor and waiting in the waiting hall. Total number of patients in the system. So that is xn. So then xn n greater than equal to 0 is a Markov chain with state space S equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to m. Because the number of patients may be 0, may be 1, may be 2, or maximum number of patients that it is m, because the waiting hall capacity is m. So now xn plus 1, suppose the number of patients at time n plus 1, xn plus 1 equal to same yn if xn equal to 0 and yn lies between 0 to m minus 1. So because the number of patients is up to m minus 1 and one patient is inside the doctor's chamber. So total number of patients in the system, it is m. So m or less than that. So xn plus 1 equal to yn. Because in this, the number of patients in the system is less than m. So any patient can come, he can be accommodated. So xn plus 1 equal to yn. So once there are m patients already in the system, so any patient that will come, he cannot be accommodated. So xn plus 1 equal to xn minus 1 plus yn. Why it is xn minus 1? So xn plus 1 equal to xn, the number of patients arrived up to time n. So minus 1, because one patient is inside the doctor's chamber. So total number of patients in the waiting room is xn minus 1, and any patient arrive in between this, so xn minus 1 plus yn, so he can be accommodated because the number of patients is also less than equal to n. And if similarly xn, it lies between 1 to m, and yn lies between 0 to m plus 1 minus xn. So once the number of patients is m, it is full. So that means the number of patients including the doctor's chamber and waiting hall, it is m. So no other patient will be allowed to enter. So xn plus 1 is maximum value is n. So xn plus 1, its value starts from this 0, 1, 2 up to m and like this. Now we have to find upon the distribution, conditional distribution of xn plus 1. So for that, we denote the probability, suppose Pm, that is equal to Pm, small pm plus small pm minus 1 plus up to so on, and P0 equal to 1. This we denote. So we write the transition probability matrix as, so this is 0, 0, probability is P0. That means there are 0 patients at time n, and at time n plus 1 also there are 0 patients. Its probability is probability xn equal to 0, that is equal to P0. Given probability xn plus 1 equal to 0, given probability xn equal to 0, that is equal to P0. So no patient at time n, and also no patient arrive between n to n plus 1. So patient number of patients at time n plus 1 is 0. So this is 0 to 1. That means at time n, the number of patients 0, and at time n plus 1, the number of patients becomes 1. That means only one patient arrive. So probability xn equal to 1, this probability is 1, because in the previous we have considered the probability yn equal to k equal to pk. Only one patient arrive means k equal to 1, probability yn equal to 1 equal to p1. So similarly, here this is the probability 2 patients arrive. So x0 to x2, the probability is p2. Similarly, x0 to m minus 2, probability is pm minus 2, and up to m minus 1, this probability is pm minus 1, and 0 to m, probability is pm. So why it is pm? There will be m patients, and this row sum will be 1. So this pm equal to, as we have defined here, pm plus 1 up to p0. So this is pm. The number of patients may be m or more, its probability is capital Pm. These are all small pm. This is, I denote it as capital Pm, that is why. So similarly, at time n, here there is only one patient, and it goes to 0 means that patient, the doctor treated and he goes away and no patient came. So the number of patient in the system becomes 0, that means probability xn plus 1 equal xn plus 1 equal to 0, given that xn equal to 1. Its chance is P0 because no patient arrived and one patient already left. So 1 to 1, this probability is P1. Similarly, 1 to 2, probability P2. So like this, we are writing this transition probability matrix. So now, using this transition probability matrix, we can analyze the queuing system. Now again consider this another example. This is unrestricted random walk. So here the particle is allowed to move one step forward or one step backward with the probabilities Q and P respectively. That means the particle goes one step forward with probability P and one step backward with probability Q, such that P plus Q equal to 1. Now the state space here, if the particle starts from the origin, so state space becomes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to so on plus infinity, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 up to minus infinity, that we have already discussed in our one-dimensional random walk. So here the one-dimensional random walk, the transition probability matrix can be in this form. So here take what is a Markov process. Markov process, as this is just the generalization of that Markov chain. A stochastic process xt for a continuous time. So Markov chain, it was for discrete time. Subscript we denote it as n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. But here Markov process, the time is continuous. So a stochastic process xt t belongs to t is continuous, it is 0 to infinity. It is a Markov process if given xt, the values of xs s greater than t does not depend upon xu u less than t. So this time starts from 0 to infinity. This is time t and the value of the random variable at time t, this is xt. If xt is known to us, the value at any future time s, that is xs, its value is independent of this u, which is previous to t. So the value of xs only depends upon the value of xt, that is the present state, not on the past. So this is the past state. So this is the present and this is the future. So that means that the future state of the process, if the present state is known, then it does not require on the behavior of the process in some past time. So now we shall study some important characteristics of the Markov chain process, that is, it is in the form of transition probabilities. Now here we can write the one step transition probability, that ei to ej, that the system goes from state I, state ei to state ej, and then probability, that probability, conditional probability x1 equal to j given x0 equal to I. That means the at time 0, the system is in state I, and at the next time x1, the system goes to state j. That means state I to state j. So probability A given B, that is equal to probability A intersection B by probability of B. So this is equal to probability x0 equal to I and x1 equal to j divided by probability x0 equal to I. So this probability at initial time, this is Pi into Pij. So this is the probability that probability x0 equal to I into probability x1 equal to j given x0 equal to I. So this product becomes equal to Pi into Pij divided by the system is in state I. So this will Pi cancel, so this is Pij. So this is known as the one step transition probability. One step means the system is in state I at time n and it goes to the state j and the next time, that is at time n plus 1. So similarly, consider this probability x2 equal to j given x1 equal to I. So this is equal to Pij. So this is called as the one step transition probability, and we can write these probabilities in this matrix form, that is known as the transition probability matrix. Similarly, we can define two step transition probabilities, that at time 0 the system is in state I. After two steps the system goes to state j. That means suppose at time n the system is in I, at time n plus 2 system goes to state j. So this we write as probability. That means and there is only one intermediate state here. Probability x2 equal to j given x0 equal to I, only in between one state x1 is there. So that means x0 equal to I, it starts from x0 equal to I, go to x1 equal to nu, and then from nu to j. So x1 it may go through any state nu. So this is the total of the probability sum over nu. So this is sum over nu probability x1 equal to nu given x0 equal to I. That means state I to state nu and then state nu to state j. This probability x2 equal to j given x1 equal to nu. That means the system goes from state I at time 0 to any other state nu at time 1, and then from that it goes to j at time 2. So nu can be any intermediate state. So we take the summation over nu. So Pij2 equal to, that means state I to state j in two steps. So that is equal to nu Pi nu into P nu j. Nu is the intermediate state. Similarly, we can define n step transition probability Pijn. So that means the system is in state I at any time, and after n number of steps it will go to j, it will reach state j. So that means the probability xn plus m equal to j given xm equal to I. At time m it is in I, after n steps n plus m it is go to j. So we write this as Pij n. This is the n step transition probability. Similarly, we can generalize this Pij n plus m. That means at time the system goes from state I to state j at n plus m steps. So this is probability at n plus m the system goes to state j starting from the initial state I at time 0. So it can go through any intermediate step. So this summation over nu P I nu, state I to state nu is the intermediate step in m steps and nu to j in n steps. So that means from I to j m plus n steps. So what is the order of a Markov chain? The Markov chain is said to be of order S if probability xn equal to j given xn minus 1 equal to I, xn minus 2 equal to I1 up to xn minus s equal to is minus 1 up to so x0. This conditional probability only depends upon up to this S states. So that means this conditional probability in right side we are considering only previous S steps. That means at time n minus 1 to n minus s. So this is at time n. That means this probability is equal to probability xn equal to j given the previous n minus 1 values here. Xn minus 1 equal to I, x minus 2 equal to I1 up to n minus s equal to I s minus 1. Now take a simple example. Suppose the random variable sequence of random variable xn, it is a Markov chain. It has 3 states 0, 1, 2 and this is the transition probability matrix. So P0, 0, 3 by 4, P0, 1, 1 by 4, P0, 2 that is 0, P1, 0, 1 by 4. So like this. So let the initial distribution P probability x0 equal to 0, that means at the starting distribution of x0, the system can be either in state 0 or 1 or 2, any one of these 3 states. So the probability x0 equal to 0 equal to 1 by 6, the probability that it will be in the state 0, it's 1 by 6, it will be at the state 1, it's 1 by 3 and state 2 with probability, 0, 1, this is 2, x0 equal to 2, its probability is 1 by 2. So we have to find this probability x3 equal to 1, x2 equal to 2, x1 equal to 1 and x0 equal to 2. That means the system initially x0 was in state 2, it goes to state 1 in the next and then again 1 to 2 and then 2 to 1. How to find this probability? Now see, this is the transition probability matrix and this is the initial distribution, and so we have to find this probability. This is equal to, initially it was in state 2, so this is equal to probability x3 equal to 1 given x2 equal to 2, x1 equal to 1, x0 equal to 2 into probability x2 equal to 2, x1 equal to 1, x0 equal to 2. So this is the probability A intersection B, that is equal to probability A given B into probability of B. So like this. So similarly this probability, since it is a Markov chain, this conditional distribution only depends upon the state x2, that means state at time 2, not on x0 and x1. So this conditional probability becomes equal to probability x3 equal to 1 given x2 equal to 2. And the second term, probability x2 equal to 2, x1 equal to 1, x0 equal to 2. This is same conditional probability of A given B into probability of B. Like this we use probability x2 equal to 2 given x1 equal to 1, x0 equal to 2 into probability x1 equal to 1, x0 equal to 2. And since this is a Markov chain, so probability x2 equal to 2 given x1 equal to 1, this probability, and we can omit here x2 equal to 2. And then the third term we can write like this. So this is P21 state 2 to state 1, and the second term its probability is P1 2, then P21, then initial distribution probability x0 equal to 2. So P21, this is 3 by 4, and P12, 1, 2, this is 1 by 4. Then P21 again 3 by 4, and probability x0 equal to 2 initial distribution, it is 1 by 2. So this is the probability. So you can find out the similar probabilities here using Markov property. Now I have used these books as my references. You can go through the further exercises on Markov chain in these books also, or you can go through different online resources. Thank you all.